Welcome back to Mindful Money Nuggets, the show where we focus on taking practical steps towards financial freedom and building a healthier relationship with your money. I'm Traci, your host, and today we're diving into episode 3 of our debt management series. This episode will be a little different because we're going to get visual with it. Today, I'll be demonstrating the strategy we discussed in episode 2. If you haven't checked that episode out, I highly recommend watching it first, as it contains key information on when and how this strategy works. As a quick note, if all of your credit cards are maxed out and you don't have any available credit, this particular approach may not work for you. Look, I know debt can feel overwhelming, especially when it's just numbers in your head, but seeing the math in action is a game changer. So I've got some PowerPoint slides ready and a spreadsheet to walk you through this step by step, showing you how you can start making progress on your debt even without any extra cash flow. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with breaking down your monthly income. And for the sake of this episode, we're working with a $3,500 monthly income. Now I want to break down your expenses into 2 categories. The first category, as you can see here, is must pay with cash. That's things like rent or mortgage, which I've used $1,200 for in this example, car payment, $300, student loan, $250, utilities, $150. That equals $1,900 of expenses that you should pay directly with cash, so not using any credit card to pay off those expenses. Now we're going to take some credit card eligible expenses. And I just want to note here, it doesn't mean that you have to use your credit card for these, but in this case, I just want to show you the math. So I've used things like groceries, $500, gas, $150, a phone bill for $100, and streaming services for $50, which totals $800. Now, these are expenses that you can put on your credit card. So now let's see the math. We are going to take your monthly income and subtract the must pay with cash expenses. After you've covered your must pay with cash expenses, you're going to have, in this case, that's $3,500 minus $1,900, this number right here, you're going to have $1,600 to use towards credit card payments. Now, I want to break down how to use this money. So we're going to look at all of our credit cards. So in this case, we have 3 credit cards. We have credit card number 1 with a balance owed of $500. And that credit card has an 18% annual APR and a minimum payment of $25. Next, we have credit card number 2, balance owed $1,200, 22% APR interest rate with a $45 minimum payment. And credit card 3, $2,500, 25% APR, and a $60 minimum credit. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you're making these minimum payments on all of your credit cards to avoid late fees and to protect your credit. So in this case, I want you to remember we have $1,600 to pay towards credit card payments. Now I want to take you over to the spreadsheet and show you the math in action. And I hope that this is a good way to demonstrate it. I do want to say that the spreadsheet is available for download. Just hit the link in the show notes and you can use this spreadsheet too. So I'm going to take you over to the spreadsheet and just give you a quick tutorial. Okay. So now I have brought you into the spreadsheet. I want to give you just a quick tutorial that the only numbers that if you were to download this spreadsheet, from the show notes, which it's available at. The only numbers that you would be populating are the numbers that have the green writing. So only these cells. So for the first month, we want to put in our minimum payments for each of our credit cards. So we know that the credit card number 1 has a $25 minimum payment. Credit card number 2 has a $45 minimum payment, and credit card number 3 has a $60 minimum payment. That totals $130. We now need to think about what that extra charge is going to be. So if we subtract $130 from the $1,600 that we have available to pay down credit card debt, we come up with $1,470. So in this case, you can see that credit card number 1 only has a $482 balance. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's because we've made the monthly payment. That includes the interest charge for the month, give or take $1 or $2. Don't test my interest charge formula too much, but it's close. So we're going to go ahead and put in $482 and zero out credit card number 1 already. Look at that. So we've had progress instantly. So if we take the $482 away from that $1,470 that we were working with, we now will have $988 left to put towards credit card number 2. But remember, we still have $800 worth of charges for those credit card eligible expenses that we have strategically allotted to being able to pay with a credit card. So I have to charge $800, which I'm going to do on credit card number 2, because I want to let credit card number 1 go. It's over. We'll be done with it. Okay, so you can see over here, we had a total of $130 of minimum payments. After we subtract $130 from $1,600, we're left with $1,470 that we have to pay down debt. But you got to remember, as we move into month 2, that we actually now have more than $1,470. We have the $25 minimum payment from credit card number 1 to add to it. So instead of $1,470, we now have $1,495 to apply. All right, so let's get those minimum payments in. And now we're going to work with that $1,495. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of that on credit card number 2. And then I'm going to put that $800 that we need to charge, right? So now we're moving into month 3. We do the same thing, minimum payment, first things first. And then we come over here and we see that we're not going to need the whole $1,495 to pay off this credit card. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the $800 just to show you that it'll do the math for us. And now I know that we have to make a payment of $1,026 to zero out that credit card. So I'm going to make that $1,026 payment. And that leaves us from the $1,495, right? We have $1,495. We've now used $1,026. That leaves us $469 that we can put towards credit card number 3. Now moving into month 4. We now only have 1 credit card we're dealing with, and we have an additional $45 to work with to pay down debt, which is $1,540 because we're adding another $45 to the $1,495. So I'm going to make that minimum payment. That one, you have to make it on time. A couple days early is best to help boost your credit score. And then we are going to put the $1,540 on that card because remember, we still have our $800 worth of expenses that have to get charged. We are going to continue on this path. you can continue to see that we are paying down this credit card despite adding that extra $800 to the credit card every month. I do want to say something here. That $800 was monies that we budgeted it specifically for. We knew we had to pay our phone bill. We knew we had to pay our streaming service. So these are things that we know we're going to be spending money on regardless. These are not the things that are not necessary. These are not going to Starbucks. These are not buying a new pair of jeans. And these are not buying that new pair of shoes. Okay, so now you can see that we don't need the whole $1,540 here. Even with the $800 that we're going to charge to it, we only need $1,221 to zero out credit card number 3. So there you have it. We have now completely eradicated our credit card debt without any additional income. But we have done it with a strategy and with mindful spending and a disciplined nature of how we are paying our bills. Okay, so I hope that you can see that with a disciplined approach, you can pay down debt when you don't have a lot of additional income. All it takes is a strategy. And by doing it this way, you're able to avoid late fees and protect your credit score and make progress on your debt without feeling like you're drowning. Let's wrap this up with a few key takeaways. Avoid late fees. Always, always, always make your minimum payments on all of your debt on time. Keep them current. This impacts your credit score. Focus on progress. Paying off the smallest balance first gives you that motivational boost to keep you going. Use the credit card wisely. I could not beat this into the ground more. Charge only necessary expenses like groceries, gas, and your phone bill, and avoid unnecessary spending. Lastly, I want you to celebrate the wins. Every debt payoff is a victory, no matter how small it is. And there you have it. With this strategy, even if you're in crisis mode and can't seem to get ahead, you can still make progress by avoiding late fees, protecting your credit, and paying off your debt one at a time. I hope this visual demonstration helped you see how this strategy works in practice. Don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Money Nuggets and stay tuned for the next episode where we'll continue diving deeper into strategies for managing debt. And until next time, I'm Traci, reminding you that every small step counts on your journey to financial freedom.